Is it that much of a delay? Do you not hear the music at all?
No.
What in the world?
I mean, I hear.
Are you having auditory hallucinations again?
No, I hit the start button.
Hmm.
I hear music.
Maybe Whitney's, like, going deaf. James, what are you fascinated by? What is happening?
Now he's being fake mute. And intro music. Intro music.
This is the quietest intro music I have ever heard.
Yeah, the
No.
volume on here is really bad. I love how it will volume spike, too.
Ooh, you know what you should do for intro music? Ukulele.
Okay, cool. Why don't you learn how to play ukulele, then play me a ukulele intro, and
But you just
then
let
we'll
it
use
clip
it.
from the internets.
Because it needs to be not copyrighted.
Yeah, you can find that.
It's a lot harder to find non-copyright music in a specific category.
Yeah, that is a lot of delay.
I still hear nothing.
Wait, I hear it.
I don't. I have my volume at 100% now.
It
and I
is
don't.
not coming through
Oh,
my headphones.
Jesus! Jesus! Okay, I can't.
It's coming to the computer.
It's going to my computer, not to my headphones.
That's great. Good job, Roll20, just deciding
Oh.
where sound should go. Fantastic.
I didn't start hearing it until I tabbed over to Roll20.
Okay. So you also have to have it up, so it's a primary focus thing too.
Well, I mean, like, I had the tab open, or I had it as a tab.
Why don't you want to balance properly? Please stop.
I also need to.
Ah! It's okay, I'm fine.
See, it's not me that has to make the cocky ass marks. See? Everybody else. Roll 20s! It's all messed up!
Well, I do have one thing that's a problem, and that is
Shell
I
has
can't.
a giant hand.
She does when it's that close to the camera.
Nope, that's someone else's hand. Get out of the room, Michelle, quick! Snake! Cool.
There was a way to remove sound from a specific distance. It's not, though. Okay. So, who remembers what happened last time?
There was a combat.
Didn't we accidentally kill someone?
I mean, he died. I wouldn't say that we killed him.
Oh, we killed him. Well, I didn't kill him.
I
Wasn't
didn't kill him.
me. Wasn't my killing blow.
And what was the killing blow?
Seem to remember a large axe.
Axe. Nobody uses an axe.
I don't have an axe.
There's a
I don't know. Wasn't me. I pokey stabby.
there's a scythe. I would actually say that maybe it was negligence that was responsible for his death.
You mean because somebody said a non-damaging blow? Or wait, what's it called?
Nobody said
A
a subdual hit. Everybody was hitting for lethal.
Pokey stabby. Ain't no subdual in that shit. That's all pokey stabby, my friend.
Just hit him with the blunt end of your blade.
No, pokey stabby. You can bleed a little. I ain't gonna do that much damage.
So then you were all investigated for your potential crimes, but ultimately released until such a time as they determine the outcome. At which point you will get paid if you've legitimately caught criminals, or will be
Even if we
prosecuted
killed one.
further. Huh?
So we could get paid even though one died?
Yes. Because one of the keys is how the death is why the attack started in the first place, which was him declining being arrested by you, He did not take care of himself, and part of the responsibility is on his, like, anyone else that was with him and aiding him, keeping him alive, and there was negligence on their parts as well as your parts. But your negligence, if there are other people that are available to aid the other person, it is the people who are on the convictable side's responsibility for keeping their own people alive first. If this was like all of you versus one person, and that person died under your watch, some of the responsibility would be on you for the other person's death. But because this person, the rest of the other people surrendered, but none of them made sure they were saving the life of the person who was laying on the ground bleeding, the responsibility is on the two people that were supposed to be his partners keeping him alive. So they will actually be convicted to a greater extent for their failure to keep him alive. They've essentially, like, violated a sort of ethics code within the city itself. Like,
There's ethics in Akunsaunt?
there are ethics in Akunsaunt, yes. Remember, there are still good aligned families in Akunsaunt. You've just mostly had the displeasure of working with all the non-good aligned ones.
You say so.
You went to Rurik at one point for like a 20-minute thing. So, the party would have gotten some rest that evening, I'm assuming. And in your rest, each of you has some things that you think about, and perhaps some things that you dream about. See, dreams are important. Dreams tell us about the paths which we choose and the feelings that we have. Now, Galfine, you have
complex feelings.
You do have some complex feelings, Galfine. In fact, you have...
I mean, I've got in real life, but sure.
You have some rough sleep this evening. Your combat must have stirred up some reminders of things from your past. And as you dream...
Just cuts to Galfine crying in a corner.
You're out on the field with your team. Your team is dependent upon you. They're fighting alongside you. You have Harcourt slicing away at the enemies that come upon you. You have Meg healing as best as she can. You have Pax singing a delightful song to keep spirits high. And you have Zug shooting rays of energy at those who would try to strike you down. But then you slip on an attack, and an enemy cuts too hard into Harcourt, and Harcourt starts bleeding profusely everywhere. And as Harcourt falls, the shock, you turn to try to take that person out, and another person comes at your side and takes down Zug. There's no more blasting anymore. It's just you fighting them off. You watch as Pax and Meg are easily taken down by another two that come up behind you. And there you stand, with your party around you dying, and you forced to decide whether or not you will surrender or die to those that oppose you. What will you do as the blades come closer, and you stand there, uncertain of yourself? You awaken. It's very cold in your room when you awaken. You are covered in sweat, and it is just starting, the sun is just starting to crest its way into the window of your room and lighten up what will be your morning. Harcourt.
I'm trying to take this seriously, but for some reason Twitch decided to give subtitles. And it's beautiful.
Harcourt. You're muted. I can't hear you. Does that have two mute buttons?
How's that?
Yep.
Okay.
The good old double mute.
My headphone thing started coming apart. Probably shouldn't have.
So, you've been dealing with a lot of various problems and issues related to time and your current like living environment and the current state of your mind in general. Throughout the evening, as you try to sleep, you keep feeling like you're being awakened by a very familiar voice. Like the voice of your brother seems to keep calling out to you, and you shoot up awake. But you don't hear his voice anymore. You can't find it. And you try to like stay awake, hoping maybe he'll come back. But you find yourself drifting back to sleep. And when you do, he's there again, calling out to you. This process seems to continue over and over again until the final time that you awaken, as the sun comes up, and you hear a voice you didn't expect to hear. The voice of the one who caused your brother to be a part of your mind in the first place. The voice of Candor calling out to you, "Find me, Harcourt. It's important that you find me. I'm here. You just need to find me." And you awaken to the sun, almost literally in your face, as it comes into your window, crawling in like a creepy... No.
Oh my god! I'm in outer space!
Oh, Pax. Every day is great. You've learned and experienced so many new things. But is this the first time you've ever watched someone die? Yeah. You don't really remember ever seeing someone die, especially not right in front of you. The blood dripping out of their body and you knowing now that perhaps you could have saved them. You don't think you could have?
I didn't know he was dying.
I know, and it's something you keep arguing with yourself over and over again, isn't it?
Not really.
No, you don't have any problems at all with the fact that you had the ability to use your powers to heal him, and you just left him there to die.
I couldn't have healed him because I didn't know that he was dying.
But you didn't think to check on him at all?
No.
Give me a will save.
Okay, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Is that clicking will?
Yep, that's clicking will. Okay.
Likes it.
So what does the 13 mean?
So you wake up from what you thought you were awake in the first place. You thought everything that you were thinking about was just you kind of laying around thinking about new tunes and having these like thoughts sort of course through your head. But you open your eyes and you realize that no, something was poking its way into your dreams, trying to make you have feelings of doubt in yourself, feelings of frustration with your feelings. Something of a magical nature seemed to be pulling at your mind. And there's no one around that could have been doing it. So, how does everybody feel this morning?
I feel like I want a nap.
It
wasn't very restful sleep.
Like garbage.
Each of you, after a little bit of being awake, has a knock at your door.
Who's there?
There is a very elderly gentleman at each of your doors.
Hey, dude, I don't swing that way.
There is an update on things from the Famhands. We regret to inform you that we have found that the werewolf threat is of greater concern than we originally thought.
Wow, no shock here.
What does that mean?
As a result, we will be asking that you make a trip to House Rurik
Today?
within the next few days before the
Oh.
trip to acquire silver weapons. You may requisition them, and then we will reimburse you after the mission for the items that you acquire. And then the elderly figure dissipates.
Old man farts. That's a fart elemental, actually, is what it was. Used as a messenger.
Each of you... that will be technically Pax and Galfine. It's at this time that both of you are at the door at the same time, and both of you will notice that, weirdly and coincidentally, your rooms in the building are across from each other, almost directly.
Good morning.
Did they not notice this before?
No.
Awkward way of.
They've either gone... Remember, every time they've gone home, they've either gone home at different times, because Pax has gone to the cantina, and Galfine has either been around drawing or sparring, and they both leave at different times in the morning. So they've never really crossed paths in a way to find out that they both live across from each other.
How you doing?
Fine.
How'd you sleep?
Fine.
Oh, I didn't sleep very well. That was kind of annoying.
Oh.
You want to get
Sorry.
breakfast?
I mean, I suppose.
I'm hungry. Let's go. Let's go down to the tavern and see if they can open up early and make us something.
Sure.
Okay, so you're heading over to the cantina now, then?
Yes,
Okay.
Why
that's
did
it.
my voice deepen to do a female?
Because that's the kind of female you are.
It's fine. Your character seems like a slightly more masculine female overall anyway.
Also, I mean, she's a female, but she's what, like 6'3" or something?
And orcish, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like,
Okay, so the two of you head over to the cantina. What's up, Tom?
Nope, just Tom's ear.
Let's make sure he's connected.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Tom's early.
All right, so
Awkwardly
I'll jump back to you guys on your way to the cantina, and let's talk about Tom's night, shall we? Tom, you got some exciting stuff that joins you in the evening following the rough day you had prior.
All right.
Very late in the evening, you are awoken by a knock at the door.
All right. Do I got like a people or anything?
No, not on this room. You have not paid extra for that yet.
All right. I'll open it.
Okay.
But I got a burning hands ready in case it's something hostile.
Excellent. As you open the door, you immediately recognize this is the older goblin gentleman from the Fan Hands building that interviewed you originally.
All right, I'll let him in.
He steps inside. Sorry to be doing this so late, but some things can't wait. I've recently been told that the werewolf problem that you guys may be coming up against soon is going to be a bit more significant than we expected. Are you prepared well for werewolves?
No, I mean, I got my spells, which should be able to damage them, but I don't have anything other than that.
So, we have something a little more important that we need you to try to do. Now, this is going to seem rather unusual But and he pulls a scroll off of his belt, and he hands it over to you. I'm not going to tell you what this does. I'm just going to expect that you understand that we wouldn't put you at any great harm at this point in our goals with you.
Mm-hmm.
It is your responsibility to make sure that you cast this on one of the werewolves, and that your party knows that that werewolf should be ignored for the remainder of whatever happens.
All right, so I'm assuming at least it's gonna do something that'll cause the werewolf to not be super hostile to us,
We shall...
or should I maybe cast it and then run?
We'll see what happens. If he continues to be combative, try to make sure your party knows to not kill this one. Say something about it being like... remind them that these are people. That people exist beneath these. That they're still living creatures, and they don't necessarily deserve death. And perhaps you can bring one of them into justice, and the rest of them can all... the rest of them, if they die and you defending yourselves, then that's what happens. But hopefully, the spell will go off as we've intended it, and everything will be okay. Now, understand there's a slight risk in casting the spell that you might just implicitly fail at casting the spell when you attempt it. If that happens, we'll deem no failure on your part, but you will unfortunately have to eliminate that werewolf, and you will need to inform us that you have failed to do so.
Alright.
I would give you my bottle ID, but I'd rather not this be in bottled communication, if you understand what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So, instead, you'll receive a note in a few days after the incident. Just check a box on the note. It'll be very clear. The note will disappear, and we'll be aware of what happened at that point.
Ah.
Oh, so who? So if it does fail, which one of you guys do I tell? This guy?
The note. When you receive the note, you'll make the proper notation on the note that arrives at your door.
Okay. So I can communicate through the note also.
Yes. Not all the notes will allow for two-way communication, but in this particular case, it's very important, and no one will really understand the context of the note if they happen to check the Maginet for any sort of residues. I've probably been staying for too long at this point, so I'm going to take my leave. I wish you the best of luck. I will see you again soon.
Alright, I added the werewolf scroll to my gear.
Excellent. He proceeds to, run at your window, look as if he's about to jump through it, and then vanishes into the window itself.
Alright.
In the morning, there is a knock at your door.
Alright, same thing, ready in, burning hands.
Yep. You get a notice that there is, from a rather elderly man, that is letting you know there is the werewolf threat on your journey is more dangerous than we expected. We will be compensating you for any silver weapons purchased from House Rurik to better protect yourself after your purchase. And then the figure dissipates.
Alright, so he said to protect myself, so it's only for me?
Yes.
Okay.
Or what are you doing this morning?
Studying some werewolf law.
Okay. All right. So I will come back to you in just a moment. Harcourt,
Yeah.
what are your plans for the morning? And remember, somewhere around a certain time, the party needs to meet up for the regular daily routine. But the elderly figure waking all of you up was much earlier than when you would normally meet up.
I've got the book out. I'm gonna look through it.
Okay. Go ahead and give me either a use magic device or a knowledge of the planes or
Both of those.
huh?
I said yeah, because I should have both of those.
Otherwise it's just going to be a straight intel check.
Let me go straight into.
Okay. So unfortunately, going through the book doesn't really yield you anything. You find that a lot of the pages, like, you're certain of what this book has to be, but none of the pages seem to match what you saw before. Everything about the book seems similar but different to what you would expect it to be.
Okay.
Galfine and Pax, you make your way over to the cantina. Only to find that the cantina is closed.
Can I break in?
You want to break in?
I'm hungry.
Delphine does not want to break into the cantina.
You know that
I was drinking breakfast.
You know that in a few hours you're supposed to meet with everybody else for breakfast, but you are probably extra hungry right now because you got woke up so early and so, like, abruptly.
I at least need snacks.
Well, maybe you could go down to the market and see if you can find somebody at the market who's got some snacks.
For free?
They're probably not going to have them for free.
Are there any, like, berries around?
Not here. You'd have to make a trip.
I don't know if I have time for that.
Your stomach gurgles a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Do you have a ration by chance?
I don't know. Let me check.
You might not.
Where would it be?
It'd be in your inventory.
Where's inventory?
Go to additional. Yep, you do not have... It would be in your additional gear section.
Not gear, it's food.
That is true. Yeah, why is a pencil and an empty book my gear?
Because that's what you have so far. Remember, most of you didn't have anything to start, so... Because all of... This is... The idea is, again, all of you were kind of kicked out, and you barely have enough money to live on your own right now.
Can I change the name of empty book to sketchbook since that's what it is now?
Certainly.
Okay.
Is 43 gold not very much?
43 gold is actually now quite a bit. 43 gold is more than the average person would make over a year.
Oh.
So this is a very quick way to make money. Unfortunately, even though that's more, that would like barely be able to pay for a lot of your room stuff and for your meals right now. So if you like stopped right now, you could probably pay for the year of eating and sleeping. However, you wouldn't have any extra money for anything else.
I mean, I can sleep anywhere.
You actually can't. It is against the law.
I know that I can sleep in Dryad territory.
They actually will not allow that. You do remember when you think about it, huh?
I've done it before.
I'm explaining that. You have done it before, but you do know that after a bit of time, you do get asked that you have to kind of move along for a bit. They can't have you like staying in one place if you're going to do that for too long.
Yeah, it's like tree surfing.
Mm.
Can I have some of your juice?
You cannot
That
take
would be a
things.
good snack.
You can't take things from the GM, unfortunately.
But I saw it.
So
Maybe there's honey around somewhere that I could scavenge.
sure. Do you wanna do some looking around? There's not a lot of trees in the area though, and not a lot of bees in the area.
Then what is there that's edible?
You'd have to. The only place you could go is most likely to look around for maybe there's a restaurant in the area, or maybe there is.
See, I want free food.
That's the rough part. Free food's hard to come by.
Says
Are there
the
any
person
meetings
with the
I can
with more
attend that
money.
offer snacks?
Not this early in the morning. I know, it's so hard being a goblin in the morning. Alright, let's jump over to Zug while you try to work on figuring out what to do about your breakfast. So Zug, are you going to run over to the library to do some werewolf research?
Yep.
Okay. By the way, I love how you guys are yet again using the Discord to say things.
It's easier.
No, I get it. I can't.
You're not missing anything substantial.
It's just memes, yeah.
Okay.
that I have to each one turn off the loop.
I'm in a...
Okay. So, are you gonna head over to the library real quick before you gotta get to breakfast with everybody else?
Yep.
Okay. So you make your way on down to the library, and go ahead and give me a knowledge, either law or local, depending upon what kind of information you wanna learn. Do you want to learn more about like werewolf culture, or do you want to learn more about how the law pertains to werewolves?
Yeah, how the law pertains to werewolves.
Okay. Then go ahead and give me a knowledge law. With a plus, you'll get a +2 bonus on it, so we'll add 2 to whatever you roll. Well, that helps a little
that's
bit.
horrible.
Yeah, I mean, at least you got the +2. So, so you don't discern a lot. There doesn't seem to be a lot of law directly referenced to werewolves in the first place. What you do know is that technically, being a werewolf is in and of itself not criminal. So it is okay to be a werewolf and be a resident as long as your residence is in the same territory as the family you belong to. So, for example, like House Zoe's werewolves are residents of House Zoe that have like gotten lycanthropy. So they're not necessarily violating any laws in being werewolves, but they could be violating laws in other ways. By perhaps claiming territory that isn't technically theirs, by attempting like a coup, by violent activity, by not following trade regulations. There's a number of reasons potentially that a number of ways that werewolves could violate laws that could be creating a problem. But overall, innately being a werewolf is not a criminal thing. You're not even required to register as a werewolf from anything that you can find.
Alright.
Do you want to do a knowledge local as well to get some follow-up information about some of the stuff you learned?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, I said asterisks. Do you not have knowledge local?
I'm a wizard, so I have all knowledges.
Right, but do you not have a rank in knowledge local?
Oh, I do.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Okay.
I have 8 ranks.
Okay, I'm just making sure. There's like an asterisk next to it, so it's kind of weird. I didn't know why there was one there. Okay. So from the 19...
11 plus 8? Yeah, it didn't modify it anyway.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So what you discerned from the knowledge local in the library, that gives you a 21 total. The reason I was asking is, in a library, I consider it that you can make knowledge checks on anything, whether or not you have a rank in it. You get the bonus for being in the library. But you won't get the bonus for being in the library if you're not specifically trained in it.
Okay, all my knowledges have asterisks except for law, because laws I wrote in.
Okay. It's very interesting, though, that it does it that way. But thank you for showing me that. So looking through a bunch of the books, what you discover is that in recent times, House Zoe has been having an issue with werewolves trying to make a stand in a region that they've sort of declared is the werewolf territory. The werewolves are kind of trying to make claim that they themselves should qualify as a family because they are distinctly different than the rest of House Zoe. So their first attempt was to go to House Zoe and petition that they should be their own subfamily. They wanted to be recognized as their own separate, like, Zoe, but still governed by their werewolf code. It's then that you find out that, like, the werewolves have a very different code than what many of the laws are in town. They have a more a less restrictive code of trade. Like, they believe that exchange should be unhindered when it's between, the family, its own family, or even down to a smaller level. Which you know from your other trade law understanding from last session is technically it's not allowed. Like, trade is the only thing that is made kind of as universal law, one of the few things that's universal law in town. So there isn't, like, free trade between people in the same family just because they're in the same family. You know that also, according to what you've learned from what you're reading, they do tend to be more violent when somebody comes into question in their territory. They tend to state laws that don't necessarily exist, or laws that they've reinterpreted into being what they think they are, and then claim they're defending their homes in these actions by declaring that the territory that they're in constitutes their personal home, like that somehow all of them own the area because they all agree that they all, like, own each other's stuff. And so when a person who's an outsider comes in and makes claims to, like, I should be allowed to look at this, I should be allowed to, like, check these things, they will then, like, attack the outsider claiming it's an invasion. And thus far, the werewolves have managed to defend themselves in enough cases to make it so that only a handful have been picked up at a time. Like, they tend to hide things fairly well. They tend to eliminate the right people at the right times and leave no trace of where those people have gone. So there has been a lot of trouble finding a means of prosecuting the werewolves for any possible or plausible crimes that they've committed. So as it stands right now, the werewolves remain kind of this, like, whole isolated thing within the Zoe community. A couple of other places have some werewolves here and there, probably byproducts of the Zoe werewolves. But from what you can tell, the Zoe werewolves are pretty much like the biggest group of werewolves in all of the city. All right, Harcourt.
Yes.
So, what were you up to?
Besides looking in the book till we joined up for breakfast or meeting
Okay.
or whatever we were supposed to do.
So yeah, your time going through the book, you realize it's getting close to meeting everybody for breakfast. The same with you, Zug. So presumably you'll be heading down that way, unless there's anything you want to do either you want to do on the way. Okay. That's you as well, Harcourt. Was there anything you wanted to do on the way?
No.
Okay. All right, Gelfine and Pax. This quest to find free food is not going so well.
I left to go to the market.
Okay.
I just gave up.
If you are you gonna buy some food for Pax, or are you just gonna leave Pax to find food on her own?
Why doesn't Pax use her money?
I'm very fiscally responsible.
It's called cheap, not fiscally responsible.
It depends how you spin it, you know?
I'm gonna let her do whatever she thinks is best for her.
Okay. All right. Well, not being willing to spend any money there, Pax. You find yourself hungry to the time that it would be time to go meet for breakfast. I'm assuming you're heading over to meet the others?
Yep.
Galfine, you heading as well?
There'll be food there, right?
Go.
Yes. Okay. When you arrive, you find that there is a note from Meg letting you know that at present she's been called away for other business. Something about there's still even... She basically lets it be known in the note that there is still some sort of legal problems occurring back in the Gnomish People's Popular Front, and that she's required to go back there periodically to deal with these issues. Something pertaining to whether or not her exile was legal or not. But she doesn't get into too many of the details in the note. But she says she will unfortunately not be able to join you all for the day.
That's a bummer.
We're at the cantina right now.
No, you are at... There's basically an eatery nearby the Fam Hands building that provides like free breakfast for fam hands that are currently like quested together. So your group has been considered quested. So they basically make this place as a way to to get your breakfast food and to fulfill your daily questions requirement. Which leads us into questions.
Question time!
I thought that got forgotten about. I was wondering where it went.
Well, I was hoping it got forgotten about, but of course it's never forgotten about.
It is not. All right, so the fam hands question to you is, if one of these people you had to choose to be a close friend, whom would you choose? A person. So by close friend, they make mention that they mean somebody that you'd be willing to share a reasonable amount of your secrets with.
Out of which people?
Out of the people in the group. So, like, if
I do that with anybody.
if some kind of compulsion happened, okay, so you would
I
do
don't
it.
have secrets.
Okay.
No compulsion.
Yeah.
No.
If some form of compulsion occurred.
No compulsion. Nope.
Okay.
So I get breakfast now?
Yes.
I also don't have any secrets.
It somehow seems less believable coming from you.
I have no secrets. There's nothing to say.
Delphine, same question.
What was the question again? Because, like...
If you were forced to make one of these people your close friend, someone that you would share secrets with, whom would it be?
Me. No, not you, me. I don't care what you do, Gelfine. I'm only choosing me. I want that to be known right now. It's for all your safety. Trust me.
Is none of them an option?
You can
Yeah,
say
I'll
none
be
of
your
them.
friend.
The fam hands would like to add their own reply to this question. That they consider all of you their close friends, and they will be as open with you as they can be because we're a very tightly knit together group of pals. No compulsions necessary.
Sounds good.
No binding rings. No compulsions. Nothing like that. Nothing forcing you to be with people you don't want to be with.
Who's got the first question now? Or the next question now?
I do. I got so for your kitten jerky, what color kitten would you choose?
This is not a question.
I like calico jerky the best.
Calico would not be a color of a kitten, it would be the pattern of their fur. So that should be clarified.
I mean, that is considered coloration. What is their coloration? Their coloration is calico.
No.
I go with orange tabby because they taste like orange chicken.
No. My answer to this question is no.
Galfine, favorite cat for your chicken jerky, or your kitten jerky.
Favorite cat for chicken jerky, eh?
I don't think I've ever really had any.
But if you had to choose, which would you choose?
You don't have to choose.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't choose any.
Not even calico?
He sounds mildly offended.
Yeah, man. It's
So?
delicious.
Also, I raised my hand and he just went ahead and asked his question.
I mean, that's pretty much how he works.
That's not very polite.
He's a lawyer.
Yeah.
And
Then he should follow the rules.
He did follow the rules. He asked his question. Yeah, that's between the two of you to argue. It's your table, not mine. Sorry.
No, I'm just wanting my breakfast.
Who's gonna ask the next question?
If and when, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. When we're put under a compulsion, which one of you wants to be the last to die?
Me, I would
No.
like to live.
I
No,
also
you
reject this question.
Galfine?
I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that.
Because if you're the last to die, then I get to be the next to last. Because odds are I have to stay alive long enough so you could be alive. See how that works? And then keep you alive, that way I can live longer. Trust me, this is how the compulsion thing's gonna work. Been here once, done that already.
Can I pass?
It's a hard question.
Then the hell with all of you, I'm going first.
Alright, Galfine or Pax? Pax still seems to be fuming that Zug interrupted her question, huh?
No, I'm eating breakfast.
Okay.
Getting jerky eggs over easy.
No, my question is, what is your favorite type of ice cream? What?
I'll let somebody else answer.
Okay.
My favorite type is pistachio with raspberry. It's healthy because there's protein.
We're gonna get protein in there. Hang on.
The table seems oddly quiet.
We have ice cream here, you know. I checked.
Ice cream is completely disgusting. I don't eat ice cream.
Wow, no ice cream from Zug.
Nope. Grossest thing I've ever tasted.
I don't
I'll
think
take
that's an
You
ice
need to
cream.
get your taste
I'll
buds
take
checked.
kitten jerky over it any day of the week.
I think there's some wiring that's gone crossed.
I'll go with French vanilla.
Ooh, nice. I thought you were gonna say French fries.
One thing. There is no France, so it's just vanilla. Or you could say Elven vanilla.
Or Zoho vanilla.
No, not Zoho vanilla. First of all, they are not an app used to help you collaborate better with your team. But yes, vanilla, Elven vanilla. Which one?
Elven vanilla.
Okay.
Is it flavored with elves?
No, it's not flavored with elves. It's flavored by elves.
I'm gonna answer rum chocolate, heavy on the rum.
That sounds good.
Good choice.
Mostly rum, very little chocolate. Matter of fact, very little ice cream at that point.
It's like if somebody just accidentally spilled some ice cream in your rum and some...
Yeah, something like that. Like
Yeah.
a rum smoothie. You know.
All right, your breakfast is average as usual.
What about Galfine's
Oh yeah,
question?
Galfine, you almost got out of asking a question, Galfine.
Pax, I need you to leave.
I'm just here being your buddy. I don't want you to get left out.
You
Sounds
know,
like
it was
somebody
really
might be changing
fun.
their question from last week.
Well,
That's very intriguing.
Mm-hmm. Well thought out. There needs to be an actual
What?
question here, though.
I'm punching you all on the shoulder.
Are you actually gonna, like, hit one of them in the shoulder?
Please don't make me roll for initiative.
No. Are you actually, like, punching one of them in the shoulder?
Well, not punching, I'm more like nudging them.
Okay. There's a gentleman, like, heavily decked out in plate mail that passes by the table and leans into the table. She's terribly weak when it comes to hitting. All right, what are you doing, Harcourt?
You're reaching into her bag when she nudged it up against me.
Okay. Are you taking anything out or putting something in?
I'm taking things out.
Okay. Let's see.
Get my hands on.
Let's see what you get. Hold on.
Oh gosh.
Galfine, you can roll a perception.
I gotta find where that is.
Skills. See what you got. Okay. So you end up grabbing out her pencil.
Okay.
I fought her before. You probably didn't even feel that, did you? And then he goes walking off. You recognize him. He's the guy that was sparring with you before.
Can I kick him in the shins?
Go ahead and give me an attack roll.
That is.
Just click on your weapon attack button. Ooh. Yeah, you actually happen to get him with a knee. Give me go ahead and type in /roll D3 plus your strength modifier, which I believe is 4, right?
Yeah.
Slash roll space D3 plus
Okay.
4. Okay. Wow, max damage.
Oh,
So he goes down just slightly as you get him in the knee, and he glances over at you. You're getting better. You still need to tone down the anger. It's not going to get you anywhere positive. And he continues to walk away.
I'm gonna list some of the laws she just broke.
There are a number of them.
Nice.
If you're certain that if you could convince that guy to take her to court, you could make a lot of money representing him.
rip Gelfian.
So what is your question still? You still have that to go.
Oh yeah.
I know what your question should be. But you should probably write it down. And then show it to all of us. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na.
Hello.
Na, 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 na.
Oh wait, I just.
There are random question generators on the internet if you need a question.
Oh, they are. What am I?
Or you can ask really simple questions.
I would write your question down personally on paper and show it to the group. Maybe draw it in picture format.
You should be able to type in like random question generator.
Yeah, I
Oops.
didn't finish writing it because he said something.
Puts.
Okay, this one just has a rubber duck floating in a pond. Nice. No, I don't like that one. Oh, this is an interesting question.
Okay, go for it.
What incredibly strong opinion do you have that is completely unimportant in the grand scheme of things?
That was a good question. Who wants to answer first?
Have this completely grand scheme of things.
I'll put it in Moral 20 just in case anyone forgets.
Fish is disgusting and no one should ever eat it.
I second that.
It's your own answer.
Zug?
Ice cream is the most disgusting food ever created.
Second to fish.
All right, Galfine, you got to answer the question yourself now.
Unicorns are jerks.
But the unicorns beg to differ.
That opinion is based solely on nothing, as you've never met a unicorn.
Yeah, unicorns are made up. What do you think this is, a fantasy world?
All right. So, all of you finish your breakfast, having your questions answered. What's on the docket for each of you today? You know that you're not destined to go on the trip until tomorrow.
Alright, I wanted to check out these house upgrades.
Okay.
See the kind of some prices and shit. Especially for, people.
Okay. So to do that, you can give me a diplomacy or a knowledge local.
Alright,
To-
definitely knowledge local.
Okay.
Because my diplomacy is disgusting.
I can help with that.
My knowledge local wasn't that great either.
Okay, yeah, you don't. So the one thing you do find so far is that a lot of services here require you to make inquiries to various like builders or repair people to find out what it's going to cost. You do like a bunch of people are surprised you're not looking this up on the Maginet and that you're like running around talking to people, especially if like you're interested in a peephole for your door. But then they kind of look you over again and they're like, "Oh, never mind. Like I can kind of see why." But the best price you find for a peephole is about 20 gold, and you feel like that's a pretty high price for something so simple.
Alright, so where would I find the Maginet? Would that be at my house?
You don't
in
have
some
access
way,
to the
or-
Maginet right now, so the library might potentially give you access to it. But you know from the couple of times you've been there, there's like a long line to use the Maginet, and it's a very short period of time that you get to get on the Maginet. If you want access to it, there are a couple of like second and third level spells you can use that give you like a short term access to it. It's part of how the new version of Identify works. Identify actually like connects you to the Maginet system, which then references what the ID and information about the object are. But there are a few other spells that can get you online, and you can start looking into those when you can acquire access to second level spells, so you can better understand what those spells are. Or you can buy a Maginet terminal to interact with. And basically, it's very similar to what the viewing globe was. In this case, it's like a viewing globe that you can interact directly with, and it puts the information like into your eyes as you're browsing almost directly. Think of it sort of like what the 80s used to think the internet was going to be. Like if the internet were actually Tron. Unlike just people that are in politics right now thinking that the internet is Tron.
Alright.
Whitney is apparently jamming to a song that none of the rest of us are.
Kidding. Also, my name is Pax.
Oh.
But, yeah, I mean, I guess I'll head over to the library.
Okay.
See exactly how long the line is looking today.
Okay. Then I will jump back to you. What about the rest of you?
I'm gonna go buy some socks and crafting materials to make socks.
Okay. Excellent. You can pick those up from the market. What's up?
Did I ever get my pencil back?
You don't know that your pencil's gone yet.
Or
All right, so you're heading down to get yourself some socks at the local market. You want to just buy socks from the first place you go to, or are you looking for a specific kind of sock?
I'm just looking for some white tube socks.
Okay. Give me a diplomacy or a bluff.
Diplomacy or a buff. Loof.
Okay. You managed to find yourself a set of socks for about 5 coppers.
Woohoo!
You could probably pick up some buttons for about 2 coppers each.
7. Oh wait, how many? 2 coppers each.
Yeah, 2 coppers each button.
Okay, so. Okay. So I'll probably buy about. Let's see. Paper. Pencil right away. Oh no. Here it is. Good enough for government work. Alright. So, let's see. A sock, some buttons. Okay. 5 copper, 2 buttons in. So we'll just buy 2 buttons. I need some thread.
Okay. Some thread will run you. This is actually the more expensive thing that you're gonna find. This is gonna be about a silver for a roll of just regular black or white thread.
Thread, 1 silver. I need a needle to go with that.
Needle will cost you 2 coppers.
2 coppers. Okay, I can work with that.
Okay. All right. So then you're gonna get 2 sock puppet construction.
I'm gonna get the sock puppet construction. Yes.
All right. Pax, what are you up to?
I want to take a walk through somewhere that's pretty and find a nice place to write a new song.
Okay. What region would you like to do that in?
I would like to go into the pretty turquoise region. That is Goblin or Ruxpin.
Okay. You definitely can't go to Goblin territory since you've been exiled from Goblin territory. But you can go to Ruxpin territory. This is gonna be interesting.
Why?
You'll see.
Which one is Ruxpin?
So Ruxpin is here.
Hold on, I have to resize the map again.
Okay, sorry. It is annoying that it constantly reshapes.
Okay. Oh, that's so far. How did I get all the way over there?
I moved you to where Ruxpin territory is.
I know, but I mean, how did I actually get all the way over there?
So you'd have to take the roadways. So you can pass around Goblin territory, or you can avoid Goblin territory and go around. So let me show you your 2 options. You can go this way. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Where's the arrow tool? I think it's this one.
Ooh, can I take zip lines to get there?
No. So you can travel along this road here, but this will keep you close to Goblin territory. Or you can come down here. You can basically go straight down here through some roads, and then take the main road here down into Ruxpin territory.
Okay.
Which route do you want to go?
The lower one.
Okay. So you make your way down here, pass by the library, another cantina, and oops. Okay. Along the way, a pair of younger guys comes up to you. Hey, what are you doing here?
I'm just taking a walk.
Goblin taking a walk down here? Why?
Oh, well, I was actually adopted by elven parents. So I'm kind of a mix.
You think that makes you different?
I think so, yeah.
Where you think you're going?
For a walk.
Where? This isn't Goblin territory. You want to go back home.
Oh. Okay.
So we suggest you go back home.
Okay. I guess I'm not welcome here. That's kind of sad.
You have
Let
any...
me see if I can use my diplomacy.
Okay. Okay. You stop for a moment, and you're kind of very clear with them that, like, you have a right to travel. Just because you're a goblin doesn't mean you don't have a right. And you're certain that there are people that would be happy to talk to these 2 people about the treatment that you're getting right now on the public roadway, stopping you from exchanging in potentially trade with other places, right?
Yeah.
The 2 of them are like, we're not looking for any trouble. We're just saying you're out of place. We wanted to make sure you're going the right way. Maybe we could help guide you.
I know where I'm going, but thank you.
All right, very well. The 2 of them step aside and let you pass. One more here. Okay. You arrive at basically there's a crossroads that occurs, and the House Ruxpin area basically only has one entrance into that territory, And that entrance is through Teddy's Inn.
What's that?
Teddy's has a sign hanging up. Teddy's is like one of the most glorious and prestigious places to get a meal you can find here in good old Akunsaunt. It is a massive place filled with lots of people, both on the inside and on the outside. It features a number of like signs on the door as well of each of the family crests. It has an official family crest of House Blade, which do you have knowledge local?
I think so. Let me check.
As a goblin, you might not know this unless you have knowledge local. Very good. So you're aware that what this sign is this sign signifies, this is an expanded trade sign. So this means that they are legally allowed to operate exchanging objects which would normally not be exchangeable in this territory. And they operate with a direct trade agreement with the house that is represented on the sign. So they have a sign for House Blade. They have a sign for House Resix. They have a sign for House Stonefist. They have a sign for House Dryad. So they basically act as kind of a point where you can acquire meats, alcohol, water, and fruits as a place that these trades are allowed to happen with all of these places combined. Normally, if you went to any other places, there would be less stuff available than the entire litany. Like in most places, you can't get actual water. Stonefist normally doesn't make agreements to sell their products outside of Stonefist. The same with House Blade. House Blade is very careful about who they allow to have the ability to sell liquor, and they allow only a minimal amount. At Teddy's here, you can see they have an unrestricted trade agreement. So they are allowed to exchange as much as they want, as if Teddy's was a member of each of the houses. But of course, they still have to pay each of the houses an equivalent of what the value of the product is for each product used.
The fruit sounds exciting.
So you can either go into Teddy's or you can use, they have an official entrance, which is the entrance if you want to go in, have a meal, experience the sights, or they have a sort of pass-through entrance that has 3 other entrances that you can go in if you change your mind, if you just are trying to go to House Ruxpin.
I mean, I'd kind of like to see if I could get a little fruit as a snack.
Okay. So you head on into Teddy's then, straight through the front door, or are you going to go in through one of the side doors?
Through the front door.
Okay. As you come in, there's a very well-dressed young person, female. Probably, she's kind of short, but doesn't look like halfling short, so maybe human. Little hard to tell. She has a...
Hey, I got somebody at the door.
Okay.
One moment.
No problem. She has some sort of like piece of paper on a clipboard in her arm with a pen in her other hand. Do you have a reservation?
No, I don't. I was just passing through.
Oh, and if you'd like to pass through, you can use the other door.
I was hoping to see if there might be a little fruit I could buy.
Oh, certainly. Would you like to have a seat at either the bar? Would you like to have a seat at the bar, or would you like to wait for a table?
Bar, it's fine.
Oh, great. Feel free to have a seat. I'm going to need to record your name, though. It's very important.
Pax.
Just Pax?
Yep.
Okay. Now, it is customary that you may be scanned for family status while you're here. Do you consent to a scan for family status?
That's a little complicated.
Why so? We see that you have no last name, which means you obviously don't belong to a family. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay.
It's complicated.
So on the scans you should come up as, like, disowned, correct?
I guess so. That makes it sound sad, but my parents love me.
sure. I'm certain they did. But this is just customary procedure. We're not trying to offend you in any way. We just want to.
What happens based on what comes up?
Well, so what we've had here sometimes is we have a very special status here in the city. And so a lot of people trust that we're going to act according with all the laws of Akunsaunt. So if somebody, for example, says that their name is like Maximilian Ruxpin, right? But they in a random scan happen to show up as maybe a Zoe family or a Stone Fist family, then we are required to apprehend them by law.
That doesn't seem great. Shouldn't we all be coming together? It's enforcing our separations.
It would only be enforcing it. So part of coming together is honesty. Wouldn't you agree? Not spreading disinformation to other people to deliberately cause
But
problems.
you're spreading prejudice. I think I'm just gonna pass.
No.
After all.
Listen, this isn't prejudice.
I don't want your fruit anymore. Now it's sad fruit.
No, you're misunderstanding, I believe.
Thanks. I'm moving on.
Okay. You just proceeded to call the least most prejudicial place in the entire city prejudice.
I mean, hey, they're gonna scan me, and then I could get in trouble.
No, you can't get in trouble. You're not lying. They are periodically randomly scanning people to find people that are lying.
Right, but people sometimes have to lie to keep themselves safe.
Yes.
Because we live in a systematically oppressive society, and that's a problem.
Okay. Let me make sure of something about your character.
The fruit is sad. I'm sorry, little fruit.
Yeah, okay. I can go with that. I was just double checking.
Checking what?
Your alignment.
Chaotic evil.
No, I was making sure that was, and I wanted to make sure I didn't need to adjust alignment wise. I couldn't remember what we had decided on for alignment.
I'm neutral good, right?
Yes. All right, Galfine, what are you doing?
I'm going to try to draw.
Okay. You go to get out your supplies, and your pencil's missing.
I'm gonna snap somebody's neck. No.
And you remember somebody during a conversation earlier kept talking about how you should write some stuff down.
Is there by any chance that I could visit this specific person?
You don't actually know where he lives. Or where he is right now.
Oh well, I guess I'll have to snap his neck later.
What do you want to do in the meantime?
I guess I'm heading out to the market.
Okay. Ugh. Alright, so
Please.
so you're gonna head
From
on
existence.
you're gonna head on down to the market. Go ahead and give me a perception while you're down there at the market.
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
I can't see.
Then go ahead and give me a diplomacy while you're down there as well to try to get a pencil.
The loop stopped on the creepy pencil part.
Why? I'm closing that. Diplomacy, let's see.
Diplomacy. Okay. So you find yourself another pencil at a bit of a discount from the last one. That'll be 1 silver.
How many silvers is a gold?
10.
And how much was the pencil?
1 silver.
Alright.
All right, Harcourt, while you're down there, give me a perception. Since you two would be in the same area around the same time. And let's see where this goes.
Okay. Perception. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you don't happen to notice anything on your way back to work on your sock puppets.
Sock puppet! Sock puppet!
All right, so Galfine, once you got the pencil, where are you going?
I'm gonna find a quiet place to sit and draw.
Well, you're not likely to find it in the neutral area. Are there any areas you'd like to journey off to and see if you can find somewhere quiet there?
Come join me.
Well, she doesn't know where you went.
Yeah, you
Can I
didn't
send her
talk
a message in the bottle?
You could.
I don't remember how to do that.
You just basically pull out the thing, write down her number, write down the message you want to send her, and then put the message back in the bottle.
I must send a message to Galfine saying to come meet me.
Where at?
I'm in the territory just past Teddy's.
Okay. Your Galfine, your bottle makes a popping noise.
I check it.
Okay. There's a message from Zug saying that you should go meet her near Teddy's.
Zug.
But,
Or
what?
I'm sorry,
Why
from
is Zug,
not Zug,
why
from
is
Pax.
Zug female?
From
and
Pax.
Man, it's
Is there
super
something I
racist
didn't know
against
about?
goblins.
Yep, I can't tell them apart.
Man.
I can't tell them apart. All goblins look the same. You want to go meet up with Pax, or you want to find someplace else on your own?
You know what? I'll go.
Okay. Are you going to write her a message back, or are you going to just head that way?
I'll write a message back, but it literally just says okay.
Okay. And then what route do you want to take? Do you want to take the upper route or the lower route?
Why is there a cat butt?
I'm making some homemade jerky.
Hi,
Calico.
kitty. Oh, you're so cute. What's the kitty name?
Kiki.
That's a terrible name. I'm sorry, kitty.
I didn't name her.
Yeah, because you want to eat her.
So Galfine, top route or bottom route? Either going by Goblin territory and House Rurik territory, or going by Blade territory, and then up to Teddy's. So I'll draw the routes out for you so you can see them. So here, here, and here, or here and here. You can any of you can also take back routes, but back routes don't get the speed effect that you get traveling down these main thoroughfares.
Oh, kitty.
You know what? I'm going the top route.
Okay.
You don't believe him.
All right. That is interesting that you decide to take that route, because I'm gonna need you to give me a. Let's see. Actually, hold on. First here. I get to do
Roll
this.
for initiative.
No. Okay, actually, you might be rolling for initiative.
What is initiative roll again?
You click on your initiative. It determines your order in a combat.
Order, that's it.
Yep. I'm going to need you to give me a perception. Ooh, very good.
I can finally see!
As you're making your way down the road, you happen to notice like a couple of goblins hanging out behind a pair of trees. Both of them with like daggers drawn, like as if they're waiting for someone to come down the roadway. Do you want to say anything about it or keep going and see what happens?
What if instead of waiting for them to jump me, I jumped them?
So you're going to rush one of them?
Oh.
You can. However, you're going to need to prove intent.
That is true.
What do you want to do? 4.
Can I try
3.
and avoid them?
You could try to run. Like, run past them. But they're in the roadway. There's only one way you can go on the roadway. 2.
Try and run past them.
Okay. They will jump out and try to dagger you. I don't suppose a 10 and a 5 hit?
Nope.
Alright, so
Fine.
you, huh?
The 5 hits.
But not the 10.
So you race past them. And then you get by House Rurik territory. And that's when you hear something you don't really want to hear. Loser! Failure! Traitor! You get this through the entire 10-minute walk past the Rurik household. You know why you'd be getting this as well? Because you would presently detect so in House Rurik, they are very, very heavy about using the detect family spell. A lot of their equipment has it built in. So as you're walking by, you are basically a giant blazing sign that you left the that for some reason you are no longer part of the family and are now an orphan. And so you are ridiculed the entire travel in front of House Rurik.
Huh. Fun.
And then you make your way the rest of the way to Teddy's. And I'll go over you two meeting up shortly. Alright, Harcourt. You got any craft skill making that puppet?
No, I don't.
Alright, so just give me a straight up intellect then to try to make yourself a puppet.
Trying to make myself a puppet. How'd I do?
Oh, you did excellent! This is one of the best sock puppets you think you've made. Maybe this going back in time thing really helped you hone in this craft.
Of all the sock puppets I've ever made, all of them, including this one, is the best.
Yep.
And this is the only one I've ever made.
Still, that's the important thing. So what is the plan for the sock puppet? You gonna name it?
This is Mr. Sock. He's not real original.
No.
He might not be very talkative. I don't know. We'll have to work that out. He'll be joining the party, though.
I can't wait for a tragic scene where he ends up dying. Everyone fake cries for the poor sock puppet.
So what are your plans now that you finished the sock puppet?
What am I? So, let's see. Nobody's here in my house.
Nope. Well, you don't have a house yet. Do you want to acquire a house?
No. My apartment, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Or my room.
Yeah, your room.
With the crappy room service.
Yes.
Because it's not in the fam hand.
No, you're the one in the Fam Hands building. Of all the rest of the group, you're the only one in the Fam Hands building.
Okay, no, I don't need... I'm cool being here.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Actually, you know what I am going to do?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pull out my my letter that I got earlier. The one with the notes, with the symbols and numbers on it.
Yep.
And I want to try and compare that to anything I can find in the book.
Okay, that's a very good thing to give an attempt to. Go ahead and give me an intel check.
Intel check. Bing. How'd I do?
Very good.
Ooh, nice.
These two things are not dissimilar to each other. You start noticing there's a couple of match symbols between parts of the book and part of what is written on here. And they are symbols that like don't belong to a language in particular either. So there's very clearly some sort of direct link between the two objects.
Right. Well, then I would also try and figure out like what pages, how they correlate to page number,
Okay.
kind of thing.
So you start writing down like some of the places where the page numbers match the symbols that you're seeing. And give me one more intel check. Okay. Then give me
Oh, that's terrible.
give me a will save.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Oh, that's good that you did that.
Thank God.
You hear for a second in the front of your head, "You fool! You're so close!" But you quickly dismiss like what feels like an overwhelming flow of information bleeding in your head, like as fast as possible, as if someone was immediately trying to just jam all of the information from the book into your head somehow. And you feel like if that would have occurred, your brain probably would have exploded.
Been hemorrhaging right there, bleeding from the eyes. Thank goodness.
All right, Zug. What are you up to now?
Well,
You're waiting for the library line. So after quite a few hours of waiting, you get your turn on the Maginet. You have about 15 minutes before the next person will be allowed their time.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna try and do what like the contractors or whatever was recommending. Try and
Okay.
search for some like peoples for my door.
Yeah, go ahead and give me either a Knowledge Arcana, Spellcraft, or Use Magic Device.
All right. I have Arcana.
Okay.
What was the
Knowledge Arcana,
Magic
Spellcraft,
Device.
or Use Magic Device.
Spellcraft? Check what. Okay.
Okay, so this gives you a successful use of the Maginet. So you are effectively well enough connected that you can make a search for any object that you're looking for at a +2 bonus based on what your Arcana roll is. So now you can go ahead and give me a Knowledge Local again, or a Gather Information, or a Diplomacy check, whichever one you would prefer, and it will be at the +2 bonus. So 17. So here you find somebody who is relatively reasonable. You find a couple of places that have stuff. You have a choice between, from your lowest cost, you have a choice of either someone who will do it for 5 gold or 7 gold. The 7 gold person claims that you can see more area with their peephole than others. Or someone is offering 15 gold for a non-discernible peephole. One where it is built into the door, but they can't see it from the outside. It looks as if it's just a normal door. And for an extra 2 gold, they won't tell anyone that they've done the work.
All right. Yeah, I like that one.
Okay.
So
Are you going to pay the 17 or the 15?
the 17.
Okay. So then you basically click on a few things, put in the information for where your residence is, and they tell you that they will be out to see you in 2 days' time. So the day after tomorrow.
All right.
And they give you a relative time of day.
Okay. So let's see. Man, we need like a gear section for specifically house stuff.
Yeah, I've got to learn more about how assets work in this. But over time, there is a lot of stuff that I'd like to start adding. Let me jump into your character sheet, though. I think there's sort of a way I can do this.
All right, I'm about to change my gold, so 17
Okay.
gold.
Yep.
So I got 38 remaining.
Okay. So I think this? No. Okay, I'm going to... I can at least put notes into here.
What the heck is going on?
What's up? Oh, or is it something in the Discord chat?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is...
Because now it's literally just boobs. I don't even see the sock puppet hand or her face.
Okay, I put a note on your sheet that I can see, so we will do that in a couple of days, and I'll see what I can do about creating like a handout for people's house assets.
Sounds good.
All right. Gelfine and Pax, you both meet up just outside of Teddy's.
Hey, you made it.
Yep,
How you doing?
fine.
I found this nice place under the trees in a grassy knoll that I was going to write a song. I thought you would like it here.
Grassy knoll.
It's the knolliest of grasses.
There's gonna be a parade going by later in the day.
There's packs the book depository outside the grassy knoll.
I thought you might like to draw here. It's really pretty, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to work on my song.
Alright then.
Okay. So are you guys gonna hang out together? One of you working on some drawings and the other one working on their music?
Yeah.
So while you play, are you going to use any of your bardic inspiration to help you come up with some better ideas?
Sure.
Let me check something real quick. I don't know if this...
Oh my gosh, the boobs went away.
That's sad.
Yeah.
I mean, there are always boobs. At least for some of us. Where do I go?
Just want to double check something here. No, competence is at third level.
What should I roll?
So here you can... I was looking to see if there's any way you could help a bit. Unless you want to use your Fascinate on her. Courage doesn't really... Actually, you could be doing a little bit of your Inspire Courage here, practicing your Inspire Courage while working on your new song.
Okay, that's not under a skill, right? That's under something else?
You don't have to click anything for it. It's just it's adding a little bit. It'll add a little bit of extra to the. It'll add a little bit extra to like Gelfine feeling a little more comfortable, and provide you a +1 bonus as you try to like work on your new song. Go ahead and give me a perform check. Okay. So Gelfine, you feel like it's a little easier. It is a little easier to draw while she's around. Something about the music kind of seems to blend into like the picture as you're running the lines down the paper. It's also quite nice as it seems like a few like various people and some animals seem to like converge on the area and spend a little bit of time closer around you. As if things wanted you to draw them.
How's it going, Galfie?
Just stops drawing and just looks up at Pax. What?
How's it going?
It's going pretty well.
You want to hear part of my new song?
I suppose.
It's called Unicorns Are Magic.
And imaginary.
Hold
And
on, let me
jerks.
play it for you. Oh. Yeah, it's still a work in progress.
I mean, this sounds like a song, but it definitely sounds like the kind of song that somebody's only written a few lines for and really not come up with the musical accompaniment.
Yeah, it takes a while. I really strive for perfection, so I won't be ready to perform Unicorns Are Magic for a little while.
It's still decent anyways.
Thanks. Can I see what you're drawing?
I suppose.
Ooh, what is that?
It's a person.
What are they doing?
Lamenting.
What?
Lamenting.
Actually,
Did
my
you
brain
draw
went to stabbing
hardcore?
someone, but
Also, it's a very violent drawing.
no, it actually isn't. It's just a person.
Oh, okay. Well, that's nice.
All right.
They seemed happy.
Harcourt, you've come up with quite a bit of information here, but it is starting to make your head hurt a little bit. You want to take a break or keep working on it?
I'm gonna take a break for a bit and head to the tavern.
Okay. To the cantina?
Yeah,
Okay.
the place that sells bad liquor
Yep.
and expects the goblin to play music.
Hey, I'm not just a goblin, you know.
That's how they think of you.
I'm a unique individual with a personality and beliefs and opinions and values and a lot of things to add.
But you're not near me, so you can't hear what I'm thinking.
I mean, true, but
Which is weird because I'm having a conversation with you and you're nowhere near me. Oh my god, we've become psychic!
telepathic, darling.
I'm adding that to my sheet. I'm now psychic.
Not
You're not
psychic.
psychic. No.
Communication.
No telepathic
Nope,
communication.
that's a thing.
You're in the
That's a thing.
cantina now. You're in the cantina.
Okay.
So you head on in, and the barkeep again recognizes you and nods, and sets a drink down on the counter for you.
Okay.
As usual, first one's on the house.
First one's on the house. It's funny you guys never let me use a ladder.
What do you need a ladder for?
Because first one's on the house.
See that your friend is where all the performance talent comes from.
Yes, exactly. But
So-
can my friend do this? And as he whips out his deck of cards,
And they all fall to the floor.
It's a lot less impressive as you do it, but he's impressed that you are willing to try it with such confidence.
sorry about that, man. Been working real hard trying to read, and apparently I'm not too good at that either.
Don't worry, I'm sure it happens to most guys your age.
Ah,
Well, it might have. I'm not as. Wait, I'm older than I'm now that I'm younger.
What?
Never mind.
Fair
You
enough.
wouldn't understand.
So,
I don't even think I understand.
is your friend going to be in this evening?
Hopefully.
No, you're not sure?
I haven't seen her in a while.
Bad at communication. You guys too poor to get yourself some bottles?
Oh, we got bottles.
Just not a fan of them?
I'm not a fan of a lot of things. You know.
Well, since you signed on as her manager, you want to exchange some bottle IDs?
Some bottle IDs. Sure, let's do that.
All right. So he gives you his bottle ID, and you give him yours. He sends a message to you just to be certain everything works. And you hear a on your bottle. I really need to get better at making a popping sound.
Bottle ID. This is the bartender or the manager?
This is the bartender, who also you're assuming must be the manager because he's he knows about the contract and is well aware of like the need to keep in communication and that you're the manager.
I send him back a smiley face with jazz hands.
Okay. All right, that's good. So if by chance you guys happen to be running like low on your shows, I'll shoot you a message. That way, like you can get her in here sooner.
Oh, working that. We should be in here sometime tonight. I don't think we got anything on the docket right now. Thanks for the cat ass, Tom.
It's so fluffy.
It's fluffy cat ass.
All right, so you're hanging out there. Is there anybody you want to try to chat up, or anything you want to try to find to do here?
I'm looking around, seeing if anybody's playing some cards.
There always is somebody playing some cards.
All right. Same guys that were playing before?
No, different crew of people this time. You're in a little bit earlier than usual, and on a different day.
Okay. I would like to... Is it okay if I stand near them and watch?
Certainly. Give me a perception.
Is it the same game, though? That's the other question.
This game looks a little bit different. Ooh, and you're having trouble following what's happening. This is...
Yeah, that is shitty.
This is a very bizarre form of card game. So it's still played with a regular deck. But it looks like they use cards to take some of the cards from other people. And when they take the cards, like, they then... they basically... So you get that it's some kind of modified version of war because they keep exchanging cards back and forth. But they're holding like a hand of cards and they play out their cards almost in a poker-like style. So it's like almost a mix of poker and war. But there's some kind of weird rules about, like, if a king is in your hand, this happens. If a jack is in your hand, this happens. Go ahead and give me a sense motive to see if maybe you can pick up a little something, maybe just from some of what they're saying.
Sense motive. Is that it?
Oh.
Ugh, that's even worse.
Yeah, you are really confused by this game. Maybe they'd be willing to teach you the game.
Yeah, is there an open seat?
If you wait around, there probably will be.
Okay, I want to wait around for an open seat. I want to continue watching.
Okay.
See if I can improve my understanding.
Okay. So this game seems to be sort of like a... as people play it, there's a couple of different ways that people may end up wagering at it as you're watching. Some people will put like a stack of money down next to their deck. Some people are playing with a specific deck. And as you play the decks against each other, you're actually shuffling the other deck in, and they have more ornate decks. So they might have like fancier cards, or they might have like some like drawings on the front of their cards or on the backs of their cards. Some of the cards have a bit of like a magical energy emitting from them as they play.
So do they appear to everybody has their own individualized deck?
Yes. But as you're playing and you're earning the cards, you're physically taking the cards from the other player.
Okay.
And permanently keeping them.
So it looks like some people came to the table with their own deck, but are somehow exchanging cards in the process.
Correct. So you notice like some people have in their hands, they have like a bunch of different backs of cards on them. And you also notice like, well, go ahead and you finally get a seat. So you played before?
No, I haven't. This looks quite new to me, but I'm willing to learn.
It's been around for a little while. It's a fun game. It's a thinking person's game if you like using your brain.
Kind of like to.
All right. So first of all, do you have a standard deck of cards?
I have a standard deck of cards.
Okay. As he's shuffling up, you notice he has a bunch of different cards in his deck. Would you like to confirm my deck?
What do you mean by confirm? Just cut the deck, or
to confirm? So many people, you'll notice I have lots of backs, and he slides out the deck across and shows you that like the backs of his cards are different, like have many different backs than each other.
Okay.
So the only thing you need to confirm, and with let's see if he does this right. And he does a flick with his wrist, and all of the cards flip over in a row to show you that the fronts of the cards are all in numerical and suit order, from ace to king, all the way through. So, full set of jacks, or full set of clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds. Now,
Interesting.
one of the keys in how we do this is once the game starts and he flips the deck back the other way. Let's see if this. I'm just gonna just go up on this, right?
Does it as nicely backwards as forwards?
He kind of mucks it up going back the other way. But as he does so, you notice that all of the backs turn a more uniform color. It is customary that if the game is not progressing, that you have to use some form of either magic to change your backs, or that you have a... They sell boxes for these where you take the cards and put them into the box, and when you pull them out, the backs will turn into the specific back of one of the cards that you've placed into the box.
Okay. Sounds interesting.
And then he, once again, does the same flip maneuver. This time as perfectly as possible, to demonstrate to you that, again, the fronts all remain the same, only the backs have changed. And then he scoops up his cards and he begins to shuffle. Now, there are some very important mechanics to this game. The first of which is that it is acceptable for players, as they acquire cards from the other player, to keep track of the cards that they can see the backs of. So, for example, if I acquire 2 of your cards, your backs will be different. I will be allowed to shuffle the deck, and I can manipulate the shuffle in such a way that I then need to present it for you to cut. You can cut around those cards if you know what those cards are, but you could be cutting me into better cards by doing so. It's a bit of a game of sight, action, and thinking. In the game, and he proceeds to start to explain the rules of the game, which seem rather elaborate up front, but essentially the game is a sort of version of war, but your hand situation can change things. So what you're doing when you lay out your cards are face cards have like a certain level of value in terms of like a bonus point value. So if you have like a king, it's worth like X additional points. If you have a queen, it's worth Y additional points. If you have a jack, it's worth Z additional points. If you have pairs, they get an additional bonus, depending upon what number of pairs, what the size of the pairs are. Same with 3 of a kind and with 4 of a kind. Each hand is 5 cards played out in front of each other, and then you compare whose hand is better. There is, in between each display, though, of what hand you're going to play, there is a, like, ready up step where you can discard 2 cards and then draw 2 additional cards. Or you can discard 2 cards, shuffle your deck, and draw only 1 card. But any shuffle allows another player to cut the deck.
Okay. So, yeah.
Hold on, my video is cutting out. Give me one. Okay,
Mike is too.
yeah, we should be better now. It just fixed up. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to have a game? You think you got it?
Sure. What's the buy-in?
The first game we'll just play for your deck, unless you don't want to lose your deck. If you don't want to lose your deck, just put down equal to your.
We can do that.
Okay.
I'm willing to that.
Okay. So here, what is going to happen is you're going to play. The game is played over a series of hands. We won't play out all the hands in this one, since this is kind of you getting to know the game. Because you're still new to the game, you're going to take a -2 penalty on the 3 checks that are required to play the fast version of this game. So what you're going to do is you're going to make a sleight of hand check, a perception check, and an intel check, and he's going to do the same.
All right. Sleight of hand,
Yep.
perception, intel.
Okay. So he's going to make his sleight of hand, perception, and intel. Okay, so total those up. This is how we play the abridged version. Oops. I'm totaling up the wrong players. Oops. Alright, so he has a 37. I think you've got him easily beat.
I got 44.
Yep. So he is very sad to watch himself lose. You get a -1 on each of those. So that's still a 41. So he's very sad to watch you end up taking his deck. He realizes that he.
You said 37?
Yeah, 37.
I have 38 then.
Okay.
I'd still win, right?
Yes, you would still win overall. So you end up taking his deck, which he's actually rather dejected about. That was a lot of time acquiring that. I liked those 3 backs. Oh well, I can always earn it back. You did a good job for your first time. I really wish that I would have thought out a little better what I was doing towards the end there, but you bested me on fair terms.
Yeah, I did, and all you wanted me to put up was my deck, and to be honest, you're teaching me, so I am willing to give you back your deck, and maybe another hand.
Excellent. Yes. He accepts his deck back. Thank you.
Same. So we play another hand. Should we go same wager, deck for deck?
I feel like I don't really want to lose the deck, so maybe we could do some money here.
Okay, I'm willing.
What
do you want to play for?
This seems like it'll be. We were pretty close before, so maybe we can. This should be a fun wager if we say put about 5 silvers down.
5 silver? I am more than willing to do 5 silver.
Excellent. All right, so give me the same 3 rolls.
Okay. Oh, I did them out of order.
That's okay. You can do them in whatever order, as long as you do the 3.
Oh, that's terrible.
He might roll just as bad.
7.
Oh, this is. I think you got him. He's only got 23, and you are not at a -1 at this point.
So I'm not at the -1 anymore?
No.
Then I'm at 36.
What did I say? 23. So you beat him pretty heavily. This is not my day at all for this game.
Silver.
You're quite good for a new player. You sure you haven't played this before?
I have never played this before, and I'm very interested in learning.
Well, let's play again. And he puts another 5 silver down.
Another 5 silver. All right, here we go.
Oh, God.
And intellect.
Oh!
Oh, that last one was horrible. Oh my God, that was shitty. Oh, it's a nice total though.
Woo! I think you just got wrecked. 38, 50.
Yeah, you got me. You got 2 20s there. You beat.
Oh, that's a little more like it.
I said beginner's luck, you know.
You're still quite good.
Thank you.
With a little bit of practice, you might even become better at this.
Well then, how we go for another little bit of practice.
Certainly. All right, I will come back to you in just a moment.
Sure thing.
Zug, you've got an appointment for your install. What else you want to do? You want to check out anything else on the Imaginet while you're in it?
Well, I need to get this silver weapon that I'm getting my
Okay.
money back for.
So you want to run and pick that up?
Yeah.
Okay. No problem. You can head on up and around from the library to the Smiths. You'll have to go up into House Rurik though, which you know is going to be a slight problem for you because they're going to give you nothing but hell because you're not necessarily going to detect in a way that they quite like. You're an unaligned goblin, and that's something that you know they don't take very well to.
All right. Yeah. So I probably I just need a receipt or something to get my money back. Like,
So what you're probably going to want to do is go there with somebody that isn't of your particular area of the spectrum, who can kind of vouch for you. Otherwise, like they're going to keep a very stern eye on you, and if you slip up at all, they're going to use it as an excuse to try to persecute you. So you can go there, but you're going to have to like basically make a knowledge law check to make sure you're doing everything up to code. Or you can bring someone along with you who's like sort of vouching for you, someone that you know is of like a much different part of the spectrum, that they'll put a little bit more faith into the actions of.
all right. I mean, I'll just message the whole party, see if people are willing to come up there with me.
Okay.
Because I'm sure we could use this silver weapon.
All right. Can we take a couple of minutes break then, and then we'll see who responds to the message?
Cool.
Okay. Be right back. to the new GM of this session.
Cat.
Go ahead and GM for everybody.
I want her to be Jam.
I vote for this. I vote for this dragon instead.
No, Hazel.
Hazel's not a dragon.
I vote for both of them to GM.
All right.
Get over
come
here,
Hazel.
You gotta go fight. You gotta go fight Hazel.
Let's not have the camera in my crotch for now. I'm sure nobody on the stream is going to want to watch my crotch GM.
Crotch GM. $19.95 a month.
All right, so each of you, here's a pop at your bottle.
Oh.
Pop, pop.
Pop, 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 pop.
Who did that?
Me.
That was really good.
You don't know how to do that?
I can't do that.
Congrats, you are now the bottle.
I am
This
the
is your life. This is your life now.
James, you're still playing, so you can choose whether or not you want to interrupt your playing to check the bottle message.
I am going to excuse myself before I do, so I am.
Okay, the gentleman nods to you if you want to check it. He's fine with that.
Okay.
It is a message from Zug asking if anybody wants to join him in going to get some silver. Well, what exactly do you say?
It said, I'm getting a silver weapon for the werewolves. Can you guys join me?
I will tell the gentleman that I am playing that he can keep my wager because I must interrupt our game to leave.
He thanks you for playing with him. He's really enjoyed it, and he looks forward to potentially playing with you again in the future.
And then I will tell Zug I am on my way.
All right.
Galfine, would you want to join?
No.
Okay. Pax, how about you? You're muted, by the way.
I didn't want my cookie noises to go. I didn't hear it go off because I'm playing music.
Okay.
I will tell her about it though.
No, that's okay.
Okay. So, Harcourt, you go meet Zug over at the entrance to House Zoe. Or, I'm sorry. It's a House Rurik. What route are you taking from the cantina there? Are you taking the lower road or are you taking the upper road? The one that takes you past Goblin or the one that takes you around House Goblin?
I don't want to go through House Goblin.
Okay, so then you'll go this way and this way. Each of you can give me a perception as you move past House Dryad.
Right.
Oh my god, that was horrid.
Okay, it was.
Yeah, not for Tom.
You no longer can see.
So Zug, you happen to you notice in the back, off in the distance a little ways, just off the road, Galfine and Pax hanging out by a tree, with Galfine doing some drawing and Pax doing some playing on her ukulele.
Oh, nice. Looks like they were waiting for us.
Ignoring us, I think, is probably a better statement.
You gonna go over and talk to him, or?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna pick them up.
Okay.
Oh yeah. You could try and pick them up. I'm gonna laugh. Let's see how well that works out between.
All right, the two of the Zug and Harcourt make their way up to the two of you.
Hey, nice you guys to wait for us.
Oh yeah, we were just doing some arts over here.
All right, let's go get our silver weapon.
Galfine continues drawing.
Okay, I'll come along.
Galfine, you're gonna choose to stay behind.
I'm going to ignore them and keep drawing.
Delphine,
What?
get up. We need these. Do not have the chance to sit here. We need these weapons.
Do all of us really need to go and get them?
I'm not carrying your stuff.
Yeah,
You come pick what fits you. I know what's going to fit me.
Fine.
I need that arm to be swinging silver if we come up against werewolves.
You gonna get up from your drawing?
I will.
Okay.
Hang on a second.
Yep.
Where is it? On it. Okay. See if I can put that pencil back in her pouch.
Okay. Gelfine, give me a perception.
I also can't see.
All right. So
The duplicating pencil.
you head on up to the smith up in House Rurik. When you arrive, first of all, everybody notices the negative reception that Gelfine gets as you get to the entrance to House Rurik. You're informed that because you have a traitor in your midst, that you are only allowed to visit the smith and nowhere else, and that each of you must consent to a full scan of your house and whether or not you are of evil nature.
Oh, go right ahead.
Nah, I'm good.
You cannot enter if you will not consent. You know that being evil is not an arrestable offense, and you know that being an orphan is not an arrestable offense. And you're quite certain at this point you have at least one person in the party who's good based on the things that they keep saying, that will make an equal vouch for you as you enter in.
All right.
Anybody else is everybody else consenting?
Consenting.
Yep. Okay. Each of you are scanned as you pass through. You sort of come through a doorway on your way in, and the doorway lights up a set of symbols off to the top of it and what looks to be off to the side, because each of the people standing there seem to glance at the symbols as you go through. They get a much closer eye on Zug as he passes through. None of them seem to take their eyes off of him from the point that he enters to the point that he moves on into the shop. And inside of the shop, as you enter in, there's a sound that seems to come up once he steps foot inside.
Man, these guys really hate orphans, huh?
That's not nice.
Immediately, someone comes over. What are you looking to purchase?
We were looking for silver weapons.
Silver weapons. About to spend some time in House So, I assume, then?
Yep.
Could only be one reason anybody's asking for silver anymore. Not really a great thing otherwise. Well, let's see what we've got here. What kind of weapons do each of you want?
I put my rapier on the desk along with some bolts for my crossbow.
Okay. One sec here. I am double checking. We got here. Oh, I can control F this. I don't know why I'm doing this the hard way. Okay, there we go. All right, so it is 2 gold for each piece of like silver crossbow bolt.
Okay.
It is an extra 20 gold to have a light weapon done up in silver.
What's a light weapon?
So a light weapon would be like a dagger or a short sword. No, I'm sorry, a dagger or some other weapon that like you could easily carry in one hand without really having to put any effort into.
I'm sorry, that's not crossbow bolts. I was looking at the wrong thing. Throwing darts.
And the Discord tries to kill itself.
That would still count as ammunition.
Okay.
Oh, wait, there we go.
So 20 and then 2 for each of those, you said?
Yes.
That's my...
Well, for your rapier is going to be a one-handed weapon. So that's going to be 90, actually.
Okay. We were told to requisition this material. So,
yes.
I don't know if we are not going to have the money offhand.
If you are requisitioning it for someone else to reimburse you, we will make sure you leave here with an official writ of sale.
All right.
You'll turn that over to whomever is going to reimburse you, and you should get your money back in proper time.
Well, there's still the problem, because I don't know about you guys, I don't have enough to silver up this weapon.
All right, yeah, how much do you need?
I'm gonna need another 60 just for the blade. They
All right.
give you a whole boatload of money because they didn't hand us nothing. At least not me.
I don't have much gear on me, so I got gold from that. Yeah, I can let you borrow 60.
Okay. Then I guess the only thing I'm getting silvered is a rapier.
Okay. Anybody else getting a silver weapon? Michelle, your weapon would be the most expensive to silver.
Wait, actually, I would only have 48.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd only have 48. So
So it needs another 12.
yes, someone else would have to help too.
I can loan you money.
Yeah, well, Michelle's is probably going to be more important because she can hit harder than all of us.
Michelle's is going to be 180.
Yeah.
All right, so I could put 48 towards that one, and that'd be, everything I have.
So how much do you need, Michelle?
I
It says-
currently have 26.
26, are we talking about gold?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have 43. I don't know that we have enough for Michelle. Or for Galfine.
It's 40.
It's 117 currently.
Yeah, and I've only got 30.
And if Charles were to agree, let me see how much he's got. Sorry.
And no one has any other valuables, right? That we might try and exchange or something.
No, not this early.
I have a second pencil apparently.
So Charles didn't write down the gold he got. But I believe he should have 40 something. I'm going to put 40 in here. So Charles would have about 40 because it doesn't look like he spent any money.
That's still not enough.
That's
We can try
187.
haggle them down,
yes.
maybe.
Sure. Somebody want to give me a diplomacy?
I'll do it.
Okay. Along with your diplomacy, do you have any way that you're trying to sell this to him?
Appraise? I don't know.
No, I mean like is there any way that you want to try to add like explaining like why you should get a discount on this or why maybe they should work out some kind of deal with you?
We're just trying to help protect the well-being of the
That's where it's going.
community.
Yeah, werewolves are pretty evil,
We don't want to hurt them, but we just want to defend people if necessary.
I was going to say that we're attempting to lessen the werewolf population.
That is conflictory. So the man is rather confused for a moment and thinks about it. Ultimately, what I think you're saying is you don't have the money. Is that what's being said? Are you familiar with a deposit and loan system?
Oh, knowledge law, I'm probably somewhat familiar.
Go ahead and give me a knowledge law. This will actually be of great use to you.
Oh my god.
Okay, so you only loosely know about this because you've never being a person who's lived in Goblin society. There's not a lot of like loaning things to each other under the legal system. It's more like killing somebody and just picking up whatever they have. But you do know there's some kind of loan system. It has something to do with you hand over some amount of money, and then it's your responsibility to bring the item back. If you happen to die with that item, anything you own is subject to ownership by that house. So, for example, if they loan you out something like in this example, the alchemical like scythe that you would need, that means that if all of you ended up dead, they're going to take everything you have of value. If they can acquire the bodies. If you die to the werewolves and the werewolves choose to keep all of your stuff, congratulations, the werewolves have committed a crime big enough that House Rurik will now want to do something about them. Each loaned item, so from there you don't really know too much about it, but the guy will kind of fill in the rest. Each of the items that we loan out have an insignia on them declaring them our property. So if, for example, you were to fall and somebody were to keep that item in their possession, this would be against their best interests, because if a single person saw them carrying around that item, that little symbol, if not in the hands of whoever we sign it off to, that person must have this piece of paper with it, and he demonstrates that, like, he puts the piece of paper down on a counter, and all of a sudden the little symbol on the weapon starts to glow a different color. That tells us the item is stolen. You must have the paper in order to have the weapon. If you don't, you have a problem. You just keep the paper on your person, and you're good to go. Now, it is loosely possible that someone tried to steal the paper, but here. And he hands both items to one of you. Who wants to take it?
I take it.
Okay. So you just grab at it. And as soon as you do, the symbol glows again. As you can see, it's glowing. Your name is not on the paper. It checks against... Unfortunately, we can't have it check against a bunch of things, but the paper checks against your house. If your house doesn't match up, it will start to glow. We can't get it to do name checking, but we can get it to do one more important thing. I'm assuming each of you has bottles.
Yep.
Yes.
We can assign them to your bottle ID then. And so as long as it is in possession of a bottle that matches the ID matching the code, and that bottle matches with the owner of the bottle, are your bottles by chance signed? Are they magic-signed to your persons? Knowledge Arcana if you want to figure out what he's talking about.
Alright.
Okay. You know that these are not magicigned. So magicigned items are items that can basically only be used by you. A magicigned item, like, has to be, like, specifically, like, in the hands of anybody else, it won't function at all. It basically turns into a dormant item.
Alright. No, they are not magicigned.
All right. Well, that will up the deposit a little bit, but it will at least check against your house and your bottle ID, which will bring the required deposit down by a bit. Afterwards, what we do is we keep we check to see how long you've had the weapon out for, and we check to see the amount of damage that the weapon has sustained, and then we assign you a fee for the usage of the weapon.
Could we get in a for escape this morning? I start a estimated sheet for total cost and that we could take with us and possibly take back to our benefactors, and so we can receive the money from them, so we can bring all the stuff back to you, and then we can just pay for it up front. That way, no money's changing hands, no equipment's changing hands. Just we got something. We know how much money we're gonna.
I'm gonna make an assumption here. If you're coming in here saying that you need receipts to bring back to an organization, and considering you all are orphans, I assume you're working with the fam hands. Is that correct?
Correct.
So that gives you a little bit of credit with us towards discounting the loan program. However, in terms of what they're probably doing here, we know personally the fam hands doesn't really have a lot of money. They pay the people in their employ quite reasonably, and because of that, they don't really turn a huge profit. Many in the trade industry have really said that they probably shouldn't be running their organization as a profit business, and instead should consider themselves a pro bono or near pro bono business, which would save them a lot of trade regulatory fees. But they insist that they don't feel like that's quite right. They want to make sure the trade economy is kept fair, balanced, and in a growth state. And we respect them for that here at House Rurik. Which is why we can make this a little bit better of a deal for you. What we can do is we can assure you that, one, the fam hands will reimburse your rental on these items. So if you bring them the rental receipt, they will fully reimburse you for the rental. In fact, they would probably greatly appreciate it, and possibly even give you a little bit of extra money for choosing the rental route versus the purchase route. If you really wanted to keep the silver weapon afterwards, you could also, after the rental, choose to buy the object, and there's no additional fees if you choose to buy one brand new after returning your rented one. So, for example, let's say that you bought this weapon here, you rented this weapon here that is silver. You paid the deposit. You would potentially have to pay a fee. But if you if you said, "Oh no, I want to have a silver weapon," you could give that weapon back to us. We would take the money that you've paid for the deposit and put it immediately towards your new weapon. Because most likely what's going to happen is you're going to come back to them, they're going to pay you their reward, and then they're going to ask for your receipt. If you want to keep it, you could always come back here, get your receipt, take the money they paid you for whatever quest you're on, pay us the money to keep the item, then bring the item back to them with the receipt, show them the receipt, and they will reimburse you. All reimbursements are good, effective for a full day cycle from when your quest was completed. That tends to be how the fam hands operate. We know because we get quite a few people in here.
I'm cool with that idea if you guys are.
Well,
so.
how much would that be?
So it's 20% of the value up front. But it does not apply, you cannot rent ammunition.
Okay.
So for the silver rapier, it would be 18 gold. For the silver scythe, it would be 36 gold. Does anybody else want to get anything silver?
Dagger.
Okay. It'll be 4 gold for a silver dagger.
All right, putting it on my sheet. Erasing gold.
Okay.
We get them right now, right?
Yeah, you get them right now. They hand them over to you, as well as the sale paper, or the rental paper.
Is anyone offering to help pay for mine?
How much do you need?
It's 36 gold for the rental.
I have 26 gold.
I can give her 5.
Okay. So she needs 5 more.
I can just give the hotel 10.
Okay.
So I just take it off my sheet or something?
Yeah, just take it off your sheet.
But then I will get it back, right?
Yeah, theoretically. Because she'll get back some of the deposit money.
It's gold?
It's gold. An extra 10 gold.
So it's subtracting 10 gold.
Yep.
3 leaves me with 21. Or Lose 11.
And James, you used the correct gold, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I want to take and get 5 of my darts silvered.
Okay. So that's 2 apiece, so that'll be an extra 10.
Right.
So this is a new weapon. Is this a new weapon?
This
or
is a new weapon.
Okay.
Now, downside to silver weapons is slashing or piercing weapons deal -1 damage on their attack because silver is slightly softer than most other metals. So that means for both Galfine, well, that means for all 3 of the weapons you bought, all 4 of the weapons you bought, they're all -1 damage. But they'll bypass damage reduction, which will be more than worth it. See.
Oh wait, -1 damage?
Yeah, -1 damage.
Okay.
Isn't letting me edit it.
Oh, you need to go up to the top and at the top right and hit edit
Top right.
of the character sheet.
Oh, got
There's
it.
a little button that says edit. It's that part I don't really care for much. And then you should be able to click in the gray areas after that.
Scythe is slashing, right?
Scythe is slashing, that is correct.
What the hell is happening?
Oh, I'm also moving the mouse, sorry. Oh, the edit button takes you to a different place. Hold on. Let's see if I can figure this out real quick.
Because you can change the goal.
Oh, no, there's a... Hold on.
It wouldn't let me change the rapier.
Oh, click on the little cog next to the name of the weapon.
Okay.
And that'll bring up all the stuff that you can change there. But what you may want to do is just make 2 more weapons. So if you push the little cog next to that empty one, you could do like as an example. I'll type this in real quick. This is a one-handed.
So I should just set the... So I should make the new weapon the same as the old one, just with the -1?
Yes, that's correct.
That's -1 to damage only, though.
Yes, just -1 to damage. And this is piercing. That would be like that. Why does this come up with a better...
Attack?
Yeah, hold on. Oh, because it automatically calculates your melee. I see what it's doing here. It's not melee plus strength. It's just your melee attack. Because it would be... Your melee attack already includes your base attack bonus plus your strength. Okay. Okay, so like that.
Okay.
And then you can do the same for the darts.
Okay.
Alright, so yeah, you guys now have your silver weapons, and you are ready for the next day. That is where we're going to wrap up for the evening.
Then I assume, like, Charles would be able to get one if he wants one also.
Yeah, we'll start. I'll start off starting the next session with the stuff that he's done in this day, explaining some of what's happening with his proceedings in the Gnomish Popular People's Front, as well as his acquiring of a silver item if he needs to get one. And by about that point, you should be back, Tom, and we should be able to see how you guys fare against the maybe werewolf.
Kitty, I hope Kitty returns.
Kitty will return next time as Jerky.
Yup.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
We're
Alright.
supposed to be impartial, GM,
I'm as impartial as I can get to be.
which is not very much so, huh?
Not when it comes to the kitten jerky jokes. Alright. Good night, everybody. I'll see you next week.
Good night.
Yep.
Bye.